In this video, we'll be doing mock interview with Indranil. Indranil is a senior product manager in a startup company known as Zolando. It's an e-commerce company in Berlin. Without further ado, let's start with the interview case question, which will be focusing more on the strategy of the product. So are you ready, Indranil?
Yes. Thanks, Gaurav.
All right. So the question goes like this. It's a question focused on feature prioritization in a competitive landscape. And the question goes like this. So imagine your company has an existing e-commerce platform and you are exploring features to improve user engagement and retention. After doing a competitor research, you identify that 5 new potential features could be integrated inside the e-commerce platform. So my question is A, how would you prioritize them? And B, what frameworks or data would you rely on to guide this prioritization? And if you need your quick 30 seconds to prep up the answer, you can take this and then start.
Thanks, Gaurav. It's really nice question. Before that, I will ask some clarifying question, just to get into the topic. So you talked about e-commerce platform. May I know what kind of products you're selling? What is this e-commerce platform? Can you give me a little bit of details on that?
Yeah. It's a furniture e-commerce platform, and the company tries to sell various kind of furnitures.
Okay. And is it based out of Europe, Asia, where it is?
So the company is an American company, and it has a kind of a global presence in 30 countries around the world.
30 countries. And that includes Asia, Europe, and America, obviously.
Most of the continents, yes.
Okay. When you talked about the competitive research, right? Have you made this competitive research in one particular place or like in globally? Have done that
Globally, yes.
globally. Okay, thank you. And then when you want to increase the user engagement and retention, that's the idea, right?
Correct.
You have 5 potential features which might increase the user engagement and retention. What I want to know, what are those 5 potential features you're talking about, so that I can prioritize which is more important. That's
correct.
Second question is that, have you done this? Is this user engagement and retention is for one particular area or is like globally?
Mm-hmm. So it's globally, and you can imagine any 5 features.
So one, I will then assume these 5 features. That's one thing. And second thing is that there are multiple frameworks available for prioritization, but I will probably use one of my own to prioritize here. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
So then in that case, I will then, now I have set of questions now. What I'll do, I'll first ask you some clarifying question about the overall topic. Now I will ask you a set of questions to construct the answer. I will then talk about the goals of this product and your company and the overall industry, what you talked about here. So can you give me 30 seconds and define the goal of the products what you're selling, or about the organization as well, whichever is you have, you can tell me.
So you would like to understand what's the goal of the product?
Let me put in different way. What's the goal of the organization? That why you want to prioritize, why you have done the competitive research. So what is the goal? Why these things come into the picture?
So thank you so much for that question, Indranil. I think you can assume the goal of the company, but in this case, what is important for us is to improve the user engagement and the retention.
Got it. Okay, thanks. Okay, now I'll try to narrow down the situation here. When you talked about user engagement and user retention, do you have any set of market where you are very strong about? Like, if I ask you, Gaurav, that you want to create the user engagement and retention globally, there are like 30 markets. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
I cannot take care of 30 markets all at one go. I will take one market, do sort of a POC there, and then I implement to other market. Okay. You have one particular market which you can talk about.
You can assume the North American market in this case then. would make sense to take than US and Canada?
Okay, let me take US as a market here.
Yeah.
Okay, why I'm asking this question, because you want to increase the retention and engagement. So for me, it is very important to identify the outside influences,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
not into the control of the organization. And
Correct.
maybe because we have taken now US, maybe we can consider the fact that the recent election changes is one potential factor. The current socio-economic situation in US, where the jobs are kind of not very easily available. The buying potential of people are like not extensive these days. We're spending more money on the fundamental things first, which is like healthcare, food, schooling, education, etc. We'll be looking for this. There are other things like furniture, home, auto, and all this kind of stuff. So I'll consider those factors here. I'll take a pause here. I'll just summarize what you have done. One, you gave me the question. Then I started narrowing down. I asked you that if user engagement and retention it is required, we will start with the market as in the US. You told me I can take any 5 feature to prioritize. Tell me that you have done a competitive research. Tell me that e-commerce platform or company who's selling furniture. You also asked me that the organization goal, I can consider any goal.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any question till now?
Only the two I asked. So how would you prioritize them, and what framework or data would you rely on to guide this prioritization?
Got your point. Right. Now, is there anything else I missed out here?
Nothing from my side.
Right. Now what I'll do, I will take my 30 seconds of time and then I'll do a little bit of brainstorming and create a stack of options in here.
Mhm.
And then come
Okay.
back. But before going to the result, I will also talk about some more things, and I'll ask some couple of more questions here.
Okay.
One, when you talk about this feature, are you talking about feature in your website or you're talking about feature as a whole? Like as a whole organization whole, where you can change or maybe modify a departmental options as well. A new logistical system, which may not be changing to your website, or your changes or feature changes are only focusing on the website changes.
Yeah. So these changes will be on our e-commerce platform, which will be the website.
Okay, fine. So based on that and based on current US situation, so what I did, as you mentioned about your goal, I took a goal of the organization that you want to, as an organization, you want to create more engaging customers. And when I say engaging customers, that means the customers who used your platform to buy a furniture, they should come back to your platform again. That's the organization goal I set up for this, say for this quarter. And for that, when I did competitive research, I looked at different other furniture selling companies in US, also companies who do not only sell furniture but other things along with furniture. For example, you can take example of Walmart, right? They sell furniture. Best Buy, they sell furniture. eBay, they sell furniture, right? But if you look at them, look at their market shares, they are already quite active and took almost 65% of the US market in US.
Correct.
So if you want to compete with them, you really need to do something extra, which probably they do not provide at this point of time.
Mhm.
Now, I thought of like few features which I thought about. One of them is like loyalty program, right? So you're talking about engagement. Remember we talked about increasing our engagement and retention. We are talking about loyalty program. So the loyal customers will be appreciated by then we maybe start thinking about changing the pricing strategy, overall pricing strategy a little bit, right? Then we can talk about recommendations. A feature recommendation that what kind of furniture one individual or one particular customer should or could buy. Then ownership, like customers can upload their particular rooms pictures, and with the AI we can showcase where that particular furniture or which particular furniture is fit. Remember, none of these guys provide which particular furniture fit into that particular room. We will probably bring this picture to. Then I can talk about something that was one thing get the right is that it furniture are bulky was big. you cannot deliver to ever something. Customer should put them up there with the in a way they get home fit I talked about, and then I'm going to talk about the wished delivery because furnitures are bulky. Customer would like to be at home to receive the delivery, right? So on that's called that's on we can provide wish day. Customer go to the checkout page, they select a particular date and type, and on that particular date and time we provide. And then weekend delivery. In US, people are very busy. They don't know the weekdays. We can provide weekend delivery. Remember that Best Buy as Walmart do not provide weekend deliveries. Is only we will be taking one step ahead. Now, considering these factors, now I will consider factors like cost components, right? Where you'll be spending more money or optimizing costs. That's one thing. Second thing, where we can pass this benefit to the customer. So that we're talking about loyalty program. We are talking about loyal customers so that they can come back to us. So we would like to pass the benefit to the customer. That is second. Third, in the US market right now, the buying potential is below expectation, below the so it is not a very good scenario there, right? So I'll be probably thinking of options which is cost effective for the customer. In these three factors, I will prioritize two particular features. One, I will try to build a loyalty program. In this loyalty program, I will start giving customers free deliveries. Right now, every furniture delivery is chargeable in US because they are bulky, they are costly, they are big. It's very difficult to deliver. So, loyalty one of the benefits for the loyalty program is they get free delivery. So that is one of the priority topic I'll be doing. The second thing I'll be also they are also prioritizing will be the weekend delivery. So these are the two topics I will be prioritizing, and why these two topics are prioritized? Because loyalty program is where I can provide some free delivery, so customer does not need to pay anything extra. It's cost effective for the customer. Remember, eventually it cost the buying potential is reduced. So it cost effective for the customer. And second thing is that it is also um, efficiently deliverable for the organization because we know our customers, we know what they want to buy, we know their buying history, and we are going to deliver that. So it is easy for us as a company to stock for those items only. And the more we have loyal customers through this loyalty program, they'll keep on coming back here. We'll be creating a point-based loyalty program there. So the more they buy, the more they acquire points, and then they'll get CBs out. And obviously, weekend delivery also because the customer will be at home. There will be no to and fro communication. It will reduce the cost to our customer care team. It will reduce cost to our deliveries. Paying this customer not available. And also because in the US, weekend deliveries happen for our team, we may not be able to spend any extra money if we negotiate well with our carriers. So keeping these two minds, I'll be prioritizing loyalty program and weekend deliveries. Now I'll summarize. So the quick summary is that I'm focusing on US as a market, engaging retention and engagement goal. I assume that increasing the engagement as a goal, and I talked about quite a few features. And then I prioritized loyalty program and weekend delivery. These are the two topics. What framework or data I relied on? I relied on mostly on data here than framework. And the data which is become very key component for this exercise is one, current socio-economical feature in US that's not very optimized. Two, what kind of cost optimization feature we can use.
Okay, let me interrupt you here, Indri. So we have to figure the first question was how would you prioritize? So you mentioned 5 features, but you did not mention how would you prioritize between these 5 features. And how would you prioritize? Which framework would you use?
As I mentioned that I didn't use any framework. I used my own framework here.
Okay.
What I simply did, I consider the two important factor. That one, my organization should not be spending or inventing something new.
Mm-hmm.
We will be using our existing systems. So there is no increase in cost. Whatever benefits will reduce, will receive, it will pass to the customer so that customer get a cost benefit. So the primary factor I used here is the cost, or the primary important, and the secondary thing is used is your situation, the company situation with other competitors here. And in the other competitors, I used personas, eBay, and Best Buy and Walmart.
Correct. Now, how would you like if we have to plan as a company which feature will go first or which business strategy would go first? That framework, if I use yours, that you used two parts. One is cost, so that means maybe what feature is easy to implement, cheapest to implement, I would say. And the second is that what your competitors are not doing. These are the two
Right.
key features. And then whatever, and you maybe like put it in a table and gave it like 5 points each, and you saw that, oh, this is highly competitive, this is highly cost effective, and then you try to add them and see which of them is this, and then you prioritize the feature. This is how you do it.
Right. Yes. So let me then talk about those features. In the interest of time, let me go quickly. Talk about those features which I declined. So let me start about the feature home feed. Right. I don't see home feed as a feature which you have already.
Home fit is like that VR
VR.
recommendation. Okay.
So they will upload a picture and then
Mhm.
they'll fit the furniture. So my idea is which furniture and where to fit. Or computers have where to fit. So add the factor which fit. But this will record lot of development effort and cost. So a lot of engineering effort required here. That's why I'll deep priorities at this point of time. Also, it is probably it is good to have because a customer who already decided the furniture will be using that, and it is available only at the checkout, not at the landing page, right? So customers will not know. Second thing is a recommendation, right? Also discussed a recommendation. I have seen that you have recommendation like any other thing, but in recommendation there is a very small opportunity to play around. Like other competitors already providing, if you're buying a wardrobe, they're providing what others you can buy for the room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a bedroom and they're selling bed and all these things, and you also have the same thing. There's very less opportunity to play around. That's why I declined.
Sorry, you mean recommendation not to other customers, but like similar articles, you want to say. So, for example, if somebody's buying a bed sheet, then they would also be shown the bed covers. Somebody's buying the bed,
Yeah.
so bedside tables come.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. My reason for declining this particular thing, because you already have that and you are having the similar features what other competitors are having.
Mhm.
And there
Okay.
is very less opportunity to play around unless you have a loyal customers whose data you already have. So if you have a customer whose data is already available and you know this customer is only buying blue color bedsheet, you can recommend him that new blue color bedsheet what you are getting in stock, but you do not have that at this point of time. That's why I'm not recommending this particular feature. Once you build the loyalty program, you will be having the database and then you can build on.
Okay.
Then I also discarded the free delivery because free delivery will cost you logistically a lot of money.
Okay. Just a quick sec. So when you say discard, you mean like you will deprioritize it. I mean, you would say that maybe later on, these features in like later sprints would make sense, but not in the beginning. Okay.
I would put in this way, like must have, nice to have.
Yeah. Okay. So a
This is like
typical
nice to have
Moscow. Yeah.
features. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recommendation, home feed, is a nice to have feature. Then another nice to have feature is like wish day delivery, right? Wish day
Yeah.
delivery is also difficult for us logistically because in that case you have to have a different contract with the carrier. Generally in US, the contracts with the carrier and the client is a static. That they will go to their distribution center, they'll put the stuff, they'll put the article and then go and deliver that. Which means you have to dedicatedly have one particular vehicle for a customer on that particular day. That's costly for the organization. But that's why it's nice to have for us. It's a very good feature for customer engagement, but it's a lot of costly feature for the organization, right? So I'll also make it as a nice to have. Then and then it left then I leave it it's left with two particular feature: loyalty program and weekend delivery, right? Weekend delivery, because you already have the weekend delivery in place. I'm only asking that you don't charge for the weekend deliveries to the customer and deliver them on the weekend. Right now you charge little extra money for delivering on the weekend. I'm asking not to charge to the customer on the weekends, because that's how you will build the loyalty with the customer, that you're giving this particular benefit to the customer if the customer buys 4 or 5 furniture from the organization, from the company. So like your tagline or your marketing will be like, you buy 5 furniture, your 6 furniture will be delivered on the weekend and free of cost. Every delivery in the US is cost $200 plus. Customer is very happy because it's a saving for them. They're spending like €1,200 instead of $1,200 my apology dollar. Instead of that, they're getting everything, 6 furniture in $1,000. And then the loyalty program is important for you. What I realize, you do not have customer data which can help you a lot of other things. So if you have a loyalty program, there are two benefits. From the customer side, you have repeated. From the customers are seeing that they're it's like, is that there's a lot of benefit for a particular customer to the organization. To you, they're liking, you're creating a personalized page. You're giving them some points. They can use these points in other places. They're getting free deliveries. They're getting weekend deliveries, etc., etc. But this is a benefit for the customer. On the organization side, you have a set of customers. These customers will always buy from you. I can give example of Tesco. There are people in England who only shop from Tesco because they built this loyalty over 30 years. So, and you can talk about the example of the Best Buy as well. Best Buy has a good loyalty program. Yep, in loyalty driven, because it's cost effective. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You're getting customer data. You can play around with the data and you can do a lot of things, a lot of other features with that. And on the weekend delivery, for which you don't need to spend any money. So, nutshell, in summary, without you need to probably spend 0.1% of your GMB value, but you're getting long-term benefit in terms of engagement and retention.
Sorry, can you explain what's a GMV value very quick to our viewers?
Gross merchandising value. If you're getting 0.1% of your gross merchandising value, so every merchandise, every particular furniture, you are getting a revenue, right? In that revenue, you're probably allocating, say, 1% of that for this loyalty program. Your loyalty program will cost you some money. From where the money will come? So what I'll do, I'll take one component, one very minute component from your GM for what merchandising value, which is your revenue. In the simple terms, from your revenue, I'll take a small percentage of that. I'll use that to build the loyalty program. The loyalty program will not give you any benefit in the first 5 years. It's a long-term program. But 6 years onward, it will start giving you the retention and engagement you're looking for. Money from your own revenue there. So you don't need to spend, you don't need an extra funding from somebody else.
Okay. And I think with that, we are a little over the time. But thank you so much for doing that case question with us in the reel. That was a very interesting case explanation here, and very well summarized also towards the end. So let's have a little quick feedback session then. How did you like the case in general in the reel?
The case is very nice. I really like the question. But while working on the question, I realized that, this is, if I use this, if my manager give me this question to solve for my organization, right? He will come back to me saying that, Indra, this is going to be like next 6 years project only. In 20 minutes time, it's little difficult for me. It's still a learning for me, which I'll take away from this conversation. But yeah, so this is long-term plan for any organization, and we have very big stake for it. It's probably involved a lot of different departments, lot of different people, and I'm very happy if I get the opportunity to run.
So I have some feedback points for you. So I think let's start with what went well and what I really liked. The way you summarized after every explanation in a nutshell, these are the key points which should be taken care of. This kept my brain very focused. I also liked the ideas and the brainstorming which we did together. So you started with asking me questions because I gave you a very rough, vague question. So you came up with very lot of clarifying questions. So, for example, you asked me what market should I look into, what kind of 5 key features should be there, and I wanted to keep it vague, how deep you wanted to dig inside to know the question. And I think this is a very big aspect of being a product manager, that we need to know how to find the problems. So there I give you like a 10 on 10. I would say that you were digging down the question and trying to understand the problem in its very depth by clarifying questions. So this was super. There, I also liked the fact that the brainstorming which we came out with two very interesting ideas. So one was the loyalty program. Second was with the weekend deliveries. So these two, I really liked it. Also, like all the other 4 5 points what you gave, like recommendations, then root of our app and stuff. So interesting thing with all these features was that yeah, they are existing in some of the companies' e-commerce platform or other. But the interesting thing was that you also mentioned the drawbacks in the end towards. So you mentioned that we should have a free weekend delivery, but you also told that, oh, this will cost company some amount of money. And even with the free delivery, you mentioned the GMV value, so gross merchandising value. And you did mention that it should be less than 0.1%. So making me aware as a company owner to take decisions that, okay, this comes with a little bit of cost, not that much of a cost, but still a cost. So you weighed both the pros and cons of every feature. This was also super nice. What could be improved? I think still first would be like to be a little more in the time. So if we could concise the answers, make them more crisp, I think this would be super helpful. Also, like second thing, the words you used, for example, discarded the ideas, made me think that, okay, if he wanted to discard the idea, why did he came up with the idea? So that thought suddenly struck me, and I was like, okay, maybe he does not mean discarding, but maybe he meant like low prioritizing or nice to have. Then you change the term nice to have and must have features, which was much better for me to understand. Okay, he's not discarding the ideas altogether, but like prioritizing them. And last, I felt somewhere in the beginning that you derailed a bit. You detoured from the questions. I again and again twice felt that you were derailing from the questions, and you started answering something else. This is what I
Can you
because
take me? Sorry, I'm interrupting there, Gaurav. Can you take me to that area? That's a very interesting thing you mentioned to me.
let me repeat the two questions again. So, how would you prioritize them? This was the first question. And then, what frameworks or data would you rely on to guide this prioritization? So, basically, like, how would you prioritize them, and what kind of framework or data you would rely on to prioritize these? So, you went too deep into explaining the 5 features. So, when you asked me that what 5 features should be there, this was not the question, but you explained and took too much time into explaining these 5 features, which was not at all the question of this interview. What I was looking into was the how would you prioritize, and this tried to sum it up in last quick 5 minutes and gave it least time. This was something which maybe could have been other way around, that you need not explain me the features, but you could have just explained me that framework what you had, about like cost effectiveness for the company, and then prioritizing in basis of the USP what the company will gain as a feature.
Okay. I think your testing is very valid that I was not on time. Second thing is that I got derailed and try to start explaining you the feature. That's a very valid feedback. And you know what? This is the feedback to me by my manager as well. That sometimes I derailed and go to the non-topic things more than the actual topic. You're absolutely right. Very, very quickly, sorry, I've taken a lot of time, but first of all, thank you very much. Would I get another opportunity? I would like to be more structured, right? I felt in a couple of places I not only derailed, but I was talking something which is really relevant to this topic, right? There's the second feedback to myself, and third feedback to myself is that I could have done more. I could have narrowed down this more. After the 30-second pause, I asked you again, is it only for the platform or the overall organization? I should have asked you the question beginning, not at the end. I assumed that you will be talking about the platform, and I was lucky in that.
Yeah.
So these are the feedback to me, and your feedback is definitely valid. That you talked about couple of feedback that on time and derailing. These are the very valid things, and thank you very much for that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Indranil. So our next product case question would be more focused on design. And this will be released then next week. Till then, thank you so much for staying for this podcast till the end. And if you like the video so far, and if you have any doubts or feedback, feel free to write them in the comment section below, and do subscribe to our channel. Till then, that's Gaurav signing off.